One second you're sprinting to make a connection in Stockholm, and the next second you're sprinting on stage to a sold-out crowd in Helsinki. Touring as a musician in Europe is chaotic.
Cortisol levels through the roof, adrenaline coursing.
A lot can happen in 36 hours, and for us, all of it did. So today I'd like to share some moments from Sungazer's last run in Europe. So hopefully you guys can get a sense of the reality of what it means to be a musician on tour, because the real work happens off stage.
We woke up yesterday to OETELDONK.
Was that yesterday? That was yesterday?
OETELDONK.
Me?
OETELDONK was yesterday.
OETELDONK was a month ago. What are you talking about?
Y'all ready? Y'all ready to do this? So we woke up this morning in the hotel to realize that there is this Dutch carnival?
Called OETELDONK.
Okay.
It's like how we call the city when we are celebrating this party.
Oh, sick.
So apparently Den Bosch, the city that we played in the previous night, celebrates Carnival in the middle of November.
It's before noon and people are already absolutely pissed.
This was kind of a problem since we needed to get from the hotel in the city center to a train station several miles away.
We certainly didn't account for this into the schedule, so getting to the train station on time might be a bit of an issue.
Taxis couldn't make it to the city center, so we had no choice but to hoof it through the drunken crowds at 9 a.m.
It's crazy. Everybody's wearing these like jackets with patches on them. Jacob Collier showed up. It's made, of course, a million times more difficult by the fact that all the streets here are cobblestone and we're carrying, you know, at least 100 pounds worth of equipment per person. Anyway, tonight we're playing in Haarlem, the original Haarlem with 2 A's. It's north of Amsterdam, right? Okay, yeah, great.
To get from Den Bosch to Haarlem, we'd first need to take an intercity train to Amsterdam. Now, it's typical for bands of our size to tour in Europe with what can be carried on a train, and then just rent whatever we need to at the venue, like drum sets, for example. This can be done in Europe because, of course, the wonderful train infrastructure, which makes life logistically a lot easier and more comfortable than traveling in a van.
So we got a 10-minute transfer now.
But it does mean some pretty ridiculous scrambling sometimes going up and down platforms.
Oh boy. Oh yeah.
Trying to make some tight connecting windows.
We're in Haarlem. Excuse me, sir. Would you be able to direct me to the Apollo Theater?
Once we were in Haarlem, it proved difficult to find any taxi drivers who are willing to take our gear from the train station to the venue.
Too much stuff, you know, for one 10-euro ride, you know. I'm not gonna do it. What are you talking about?
Now, normally you can count on taxi drivers to just like way overcharge you for this kind of thing, like 50 euros or whatever to go 10 minutes, but we couldn't even find anybody to fleece us like that.
Just getting to the venue today is
Turning into a thing.
turning into a whole thing. I know how Not Just Bikes talks all the time about like the superior urban design of the Netherlands, but man, when it comes to trying to transport equipment, Haarlem, you're not killing it right now.
Taxi mafia here.
It took like a good hour after arriving in Haarlem to find taxis willing to take us from the train station to the venue.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But eventually we got there. We got to Patronaat, this beautiful performing arts venue. Generally, in my experience, I found that like performing venues in the Netherlands are very high quality because the government actually cares about funding the arts. I can always expect an excellent venue in the Netherlands, and this one was no different.
Here, there's coffee.
After we get to the venue, we'll first drop our stuff off in the green room, and then take an hour or so to set up all of our equipment.
Directly this way.
Including the rented drum set and keyboards.
He said he has a laundry bag.
Got it. This venue in particular had laundry.
Laundry.
We had already been out for a week, and gladly took the opportunity to start a few loads before sound check. Soundcheck starts with our sound engineer, Sean Richards, running some dub tracks through the sound system. Because they're very sub-heavy, it's a good way of getting a sense of the feel and the sound of the room. We'll then go through all the sound sources one by one.
Hey! I feel good.
We'll then sound check with specific moments from the set.
Can we try just the very end?
Yeah, sure.
The venue was serving this family-style dinner, you know, home-cooked food, which was, man, just so appreciated.
It's really nice to have like a nice meal that was cooked with love. Jared's gonna be playing an opening set. This is like his solo ambient saxophone situation tonight. It's called Avant George, and he's been doing that the past couple shows, and it's been working out really well. I guess that makes us Après George. Ah, how you feeling?
Pretty good, pretty good. Thank you so much. My name is Jared Yee, and then this project's called Avant George.
Now, after Jared's set, we normally go on stage just to test all of the finicky computer connections. We're running 2 Ableton Live sets with Ethernet going across the stage. We then get changed backstage and go through some very important pre-show rituals.
Feel the rhythm! Feel the rhyme! Get up! It's bobsled time! OETELDONK! Let's do this! Going to Helsinki today. Long term. We have a layover in Stockholm. A little tight this morning.
Flying the day of a show is risky and stressful, so we try and make all flights direct, but unfortunately there was no direct flights between Amsterdam and Helsinki that would get us there in time for the show. Now, we got on the first flight from Amsterdam to Stockholm, but we just kind of stayed on the tarmac for an hour.
Kind of for tonight.
Our connecting flight from Stockholm to Helsinki was boarding at 1:15, but we're still on the tarmac in Amsterdam at 11:30. So, you know, even if we somehow made our connection, it wasn't likely that our bags would make it. And you know, for us, that's our pedal boards, our amp modeling, our computer playback system, our monitor rig, Pierre's keyboards, all of that stuff that we were throwing on the train going to Haarlem. So, sitting there on the tarmac in Amsterdam, we had to start coming up with a game plan.
We could send people to a music store.
The keyboard I was running tonight is not just a MIDI controller, then I would still have some.
Let me check.
We figured that it technically was possible to play the show, but it would be like very scrappy.
No click, no monitors, just go for it. Baby.
Honestly, I was kind of excited by this prospect because, you know, we cut our teeth playing gigs in New York City for a decade, and that like rock and roll attitude of like, fuck it, let's just play. There's something kind of magical about that, right? But you know, that was just if the bags didn't make it. We still had to make it to Helsinki, and it wasn't super clear if we would be able to do that.
Okay, so we're gonna have to run down a long hallway. It's like in a different terminal. Yeah, this is bad. Flight is boarding now. We have to sprint.
Yeah, we're all boarding now.
With razor-thin profit margins on tour, we really could not afford to just miss a gig. I made a video last year about how COVID nearly derailed a West Coast tour, and the expenses since last year have only gone up. So yeah, we needed to make this flight, bags or no. Let the race begin. We needed to make this connection, no matter what.
Let's go here somewhere. Mine.
Okay. Oh. Oh my God. So a bit anticlimactic, but very fortunate for us. The flight out of Stockholm was delayed. However,
He said it's not gonna fit in the order.
the agent at the gate saw our instruments and then demanded that we check them. Now, given SAS's track record in losing our gear, see Sean Crowder's vlog from last year, we knew that we needed to bring this stuff on the plane.
Yeah, what do you think I'm doing?
Now, one common strategy to do this is either palm the gate check tag on the handle of your instrument, or
Hold your coat over the tag.
chances are there will be space in the overhead compartments, and lo and behold, there was.
Ooh. Cortisol levels through the roof, adrenaline coursing. And it's just after lunch. We got an hour-and-a-half show to play tonight. What a morning. Anything from you? Oh, yeah. Made it. Woo! Remember, kids, put hair tags on everything.
We eventually made it to Helsinki, and miracle of miracles, the bags somehow made that connection too. I don't know how that happened, but they did, and we were in business.
And the day is only just beginning.
Pretty soon, we were on our way to the venue. And after a stressful 9.5 hours of travel, we still had a long evening ahead of us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Loading gear out from the van.
Everything's fine. We're here.
To the venue, setting everything up for sound check, sound checking everything, etc. The same thing that we, do every night on tour.
Really pumped to be here in Helsinki. There have been a lot of Finnish fans that have flown to other countries to see us, and it feels right to finally be able to play here in Helsinki. The line outside is pretty spicy.
I've always heard it said that you're not getting paid to play music on tour. That's the fun part. That's the part where you can create your art and connect with an audience. You're really getting paid to haul gear up and down stairs in train stations and run across Stockholm airport. It's a lot, man. I think it's worth it, but it's a lot.
So barely coherent. At the end of these days, I kind of have to save up all of the energy to focus on the stage,
Feel the rhythm! Feel the ride! Get up! It's bobsled time!
Now, after a brief panic where we couldn't find Jared after we were set up and in places.
Uh-oh. Wait, where the f is Jared? Yeah, where's Jared? The drone has gone on.
Oh, he's coming, I see him.
Okay. And a glorious Spinal Tap moment.
There's no way this way.
We're finally able to go on and play our silly jazz fusion music to a wonderful sold-out crowd in Helsinki. Fortunately, this was the show that we planned, but a small piece of me really wishes that the bags had been lost going between Stockholm and Helsinki. Because it would have forced us into a different headspace. There's a lot of great art and great things that can happen when you are open to the idea of making the best of a bad situation and feeding off of the energy of the people in the room.
Thank you guys. You guys have been an amazing audience.
Fortunately we did have our bags, but a small piece of me. wishes that they got lost. Small piece. A small piece. One of the fun things that we were told about the audiences in Helsinki was that when they're asking for an encore, their clapping starts to synchronize.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That thing they told us about. They
Yeah.
got near it.
Which is just a fun way to cap up the day, to hear that synchronized clapping at the end of the show. Ah, great times. Cheeky. We woke up yesterday to OETELDONK.
Was that yesterday?
That was yesterday.
That was yesterday?
OETELDONK. OETELDONK was yesterday.
OETELDONK was a month ago.
So anyway, this was just like 2 days in the middle of a longer 2-week run where we were playing all across Europe. And these were just the 2 days that I vlogged everything. Every day is kind of like this, by the way, because I'm physically in so many different spaces and so many different moments throughout the day, different countries throughout the day. My brain keeps track of time as it relates to physical space. The more places that I've been, the more time has elapsed, according to my brain. So yeah, OETELDONK and drinking wine in the hotel room after Helsinki really just were 36 hours apart, but they might as well have just been an entire month. Kind of crazy how that works. Right. Anyway, if you'd like to check out Sungazer, check us out on Instagram. We're gonna be playing in Australia in March with Pliny. It's gonna be a lot of fun. And we're working on a new album, so stay tuned for that. Thanks guys for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a good sense of what it's like on tour. If you want to watch more of my videos, you know, there's a playlist of gig vlogs, tour vlogs, things like that. Go check that out. And yeah, until next time. Peace.